Our next step is to determine the height where the C-channel goes. The C-channel is the part that goes against the house where the roof panels actually tuck into. So we have to establish the height from our patio floor all the way up. In this case, the C-channel is going to be set above that roof line that you see there. So that roof line is still going to be in existence underneath our roof. So we're going to establish that height. What we'll do is we will shoot it with the laser. We'll establish the height off of the patio floor on the wall so that when we measure up from that dot, from that mark where it is, we know exactly where that roof line is going to be for that C-channel. When we're ready to cut the C-channel, you have to recognize that we're 16 feet across, that's our width, but you have to take off 1 7/8 to make allowances for the gutters on both sides. So the 16 feet is actually going to be 15, 10 1/8. And here we go. Again, when you're cutting any aluminum of any type, especially this one, always make sure you wear your glasses because this stuff flies all over the place. One thing to be knowledgeable of is when you're cutting this, you want to use ideally a special blade which is made just for the aluminum, which is a tri-tip blade, or if you don't have one of those, an 80 tooth or greater carbide tip blade will do the job just right. It just won't last as long. There you have it. You want to make sure that if your sawhorses have rough finishes on them, you want to put something on it so that you don't scratch the surface of the material. I'm now marking the staggered pattern with a marker. Every 6 inches, I'm going to the top on one, then I alternate to the bottom, and I come back to the top and the bottom, 6 inches. As I get this marked down, Mike is going to follow me with the drill, and he's going to pre-drill everything, so we're all set to go on the house. Be sure to check your engineering for the spacing of these attachment points or these Tapcons going into the house, because it can vary from town to town, city to city. What I'm doing right now is I'm establishing the level mark for the bottom of the C-channel. So now when we hold the C-channel up here, we will make our marks and we will drill all the holes through, but this is our go-to line. This is it. This is perfectly level. Okay, what we're doing here now is we're establishing the outside edge of where the screen room is going. This is my level, and if you look at the level, you see I'm perfectly plumb with the bottom on the corner of the slab. This level is exactly 2 inches wide, and according to engineering, we have to be 2 inches all the way around, 2 inches in. So this is a good way to mark this. I'll just take the level, then I'll take my pencil, and I'll strike a line. And this is just a quick and easy way to do it, and I can just follow this up, and I know I'm going to be right. We're getting ready to place the first ceiling panel, and the first ceiling panel we want to set in the center. That's the one that has the fan beam in it. Now the fan beam has to be in the exact center of the roof. So as I measured across, right here, you can't see it, but this is the center of my roof. Now my fan beam is 12 inches off center. So refer to your drawings, make sure you understand the layout of your roof panels before you attempt to put this stuff up, because you don't want to put it up and then have to move everything. So we've got to be 36 inches on one side, 12 on the other. So I measured here 12 inches over. This is going to be the right side of my panel edge, and then 36 inches out. This is going to be the left side of my panel. Once I get this in place, it's going to be perfectly centered and we're going to be ready to go. We just pop the other panels on the other sides. In consideration to what we were talking about as far as our dimension, the 16-foot dimension actually is 15 foot 10 1/8 because we have to take into consideration for the gutter on both sides. I'm just double checking to be sure that I'm 190 1/8 inches, which is 15 foot 10 1/8. As we said before, we're going to go 15 foot 10 1/8, and I'm going to mark it right here. That gives us the outside edge of the C-channel. As you see, we're holding the C-channel up here, and we're going to mark all of the holes on the wall. This way we make sure if the C-channel moves, we have the marks. And if you look over at Mike, he's just putting a good marker through the hole so that it marks onto the concrete. When you're ready to drill your holes, make sure you use a heavy-duty drill. Even though the drill is a little heavier, it operates much quicker and penetrates the wall faster. Here's a little pro tip for you. When you put the Tapcons in the wall, especially on this stucco, because the stucco is not an even surface, don't over-torque the Tapcons. Two reasons. Number one, you'll buckle the C channel, and number two, you might very well strip it out.